when the vacuum cleaner is so full that all the dust is accumulated inside already, he still hasn't emptied it. So now they're broken up.
That's when you know that relationship sucks.
Hi, it's Hazelle.
Hi, it's Azura. And I'm Germaine.
And welcome back to another episode of Clarity's
Hush Podcast. Today we're talking about something that we have no idea about, marriage. So we have the ultimate old married couple. Let's welcome Jayne and Vernon.
Where did that old come from? Because of me, right?
old married couple.
Okay,
Yeah, that's how it works.
Understand.
How many years have you guys been married?
This year is 9 years.
Plus dating?
No, dating will be about
12 years.
So that's 13 plus 9.
no.
No.
Right.
Total.
Everything in
Everything
total.
is total,
Okay.
13 by the time, no wonder I'm so old.
I mean, you guys have been married for 9 years. Would you say that's a long time to be married in this day and age?
I don't think it's necessary to put a time frame to marriage. Yeah, because then why do you get married in the first place? People who get in a good relationship stay married longer, I suppose, right?
Healthy
Does it make sense? Yeah, healthy. Yeah.
And for Jayne, when you met Vernon, right? What about him shouted at you, marriage material?
Handsome lah. No.
Honestly, nothing.
I don't know
No,
why I
honestly,
bring her to these things,
seriously. You know, when we first met, it didn't really occur to me that I was going to get married with him. So it's just, a dating thing. Yeah, only like much later on when we dated a little bit more seriously, and then I thought it could be in the cards for us. Yeah.
And now they have 2 kids. Can you
Yep.
believe that? I mean, very cute kids.
Yeah,
too.
that's how it works, Usually when a man and woman get married,
is it?
go to the bedroom and close the door.
Oh, what happens inside?
And then
the
come
bedroom?
out 9 months later, got baby.
Oh, 9 months you stay in the bedroom. Huh?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, sounds very tough. But today we're talking about marriage, more specifically, something called the concept of a 50-50 in marriage, right? This can be with regards to responsibilities, finances, and all of that. And because none of us are married or barely in relationships, so we need to look to you guys. So you are our role models for today. Please be good ones.
Wow, okay.
Yeah,
I'm very
I think
stressed.
what a lot of people understand of marriage is that responsibilities have to be shared. And it has to be shared equally. The husband takes 50%, the wife takes 50%. For example, if the husband cooks, then the wife washes the dishes. But I don't know if this is the case in marriage these days, or is this really the way to run a marriage?
Don't think it has ever existed at all.
The 50-50 rule?
I think some people do that. I feel very sad for them though, because being in a healthy relationship, why do you put numbers to things? Why do you have
Why do
to
you
do
have to
50%
quantify?
of the work? Yeah, if you feel you need to wash clothes, you're going to wash clothes. Why worry about what your spouse is doing when you're washing the clothes? Why do you have to wait for someone else to do it?
But that's the thing. So some people will wonder, if it's always me who is mopping the floor, when will my other half do it?
That is a that person problem, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, if you feel that the floor is dirty, then you mop the floor. Lor. If the other person doesn't feel that the floor is dirty, then they won't mop the floor. What?
Okay, so I have a girlfriend. She will always vacuum the floor.
Sure.
Okay, so she says that that's her responsibility. And then she just tells her boyfriend, can you just please empty the vacuum cleaner? That's the
Right.
least you can do, right? So that was their arrangement. But you know what? When the vacuum cleaner is so full that all the dust is accumulated inside already, he still hasn't emptied it.
Then he's lazy lah.
He is. So now they're broken up. Accumulated
That's
problems.
when you know that
yeah.
relationship sucks. Because of a vacuum cleaner, right?
It's the principle of it though.
Right.
It's, if I ask something of you, my partner, why can't you just do it? It's not
Sure.
about 50-50
No, I agree.
split.
So if you have something that you'd like your partner to do and you ask nicely, then they should do it. I mean, okay, maybe in our relationship, we don't define it by goals. If she wakes up in the morning and the house is dirty, she'll do the housework.
Oh.
Yeah,
I thought you like to do the housework.
I generally do most of the housework because she looks after. It's around that time when she feeds the kids, so I use that time to do the housework, and I like it. But I don't expect her okay, tomorrow your turn.
Yeah.
We don't divide.
Don't keep
roles
count
like that.
and,
Yeah, exactly.
why are you so calculated?
Calculated.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think it's very toxic and it's just very draining to be so calculative. Hey, it's your turn today, why are you not doing it? Instead of using that kind of mentality, to me, it's okay, I take it as maybe he's busy. I give him the benefit of the doubt. After all, he's my husband. Maybe he's just really tired. So I'll just take over. It's just mopping the floor. It's just doing laundry. It's not a big deal.
There's an alternative to the 50-50 model. They call it the 100-100 model.
Oh.
Each partner should be giving 100%, regardless of what your partner is giving in return.
All
and
right.
you always give without expecting anything back because this is what a relationship is.
I kinda like that model,
The
yeah.
100-100. So at home right? Paint us a picture. Does either of you cook?
She does, I don't.
Okay,
I
so
stay
she
away from the
cooks, you
kitchen,
don't cook.
Yeah, but I try to encourage her not to cook. Yeah.
Thanks.
Because not because the cooking sucks. I mean, she cooks fine. It's just that it makes her tired and it leaves her less time with the kids or with me. And time for us, especially, is very fragile because of our working hours. I wake up really early in the day, so I try to have as much time in the afternoon to rest. And then the evenings are spent with the kids and all that. So by the time we put the kids to bed, that's our time where we watch TV, we talk about the day and stuff like that. So if she cooks, then she'll be really tired, and you just don't want tiredness to seep into a relationship where you're trying to be happy when you have alone time. So
When it comes to kids, traditionally, it usually falls to the mother, right? The mother is the one that has to take care of their education, after school work. Do you agree or
We don't divide it very clearly. He does have to work at night, so I totally understand, so I take over. But he also understands that I have certain hours that I cannot be at home with the kids, and he also gladly takes over. So there's no clear definition for us actually. Yeah.
But here's the thing, right? I think it's because, they both are very proactive in picking up the pieces, filling up the gaps. But I think this concept of, maybe some people fall into this pace of being calculative or, keeping tabs because one person will just not do it. And
They don't
the other
pull
one
any
just-
weight, right?
Correct.
it sounds like very selfish behavior if you ask me. And for you to get into that situation where you have to be calculative, then why were you in the relationship in the first place? You got to ask yourself these questions.
maybe it's kind of a red flag? It's signaling to you that,
Exactly, yeah. Maybe this is not the right relationship to get married in advance and move on to a family,
Yeah, and to be honest, you don't find out about certain habits until you actually start staying with this person, right?
Sure.
So that can come into play as well.
I always feel that before you get married, try to cohabit. Not permanently, but on a regular basis. So at least you know what you're in store for if you do eventually marry and live together. You'll know certain habits that some people might not be able to overcome. Some people can just, close one eye and get used to it.
I don't think there is a model per se, the ideal relationship, the ideal marriage, but I think it's more about your personalities and how you guys gel and fit into one another. I think that's more important because everybody's different. You cannot go into a relationship and expect your other half to be living by this 100-100 model. Then you'll be on this end giving a lot, but the other person doesn't understand or doesn't agree. And it'll be very tiring. So even if I go in with this ideal, it may not work out because the other person just doesn't agree. So it also depends.
So what would you suggest to people who are maybe going to get married out there? What should they expect?
Drop all your expectations.
wow.
Yeah. A lot of people have these ideals that I don't know where they get it from, but through looking at other people's relationships or through movies or things you read, and you form these ideals in your mind. Oh, my future husband/wife should be this. And this life is very unrealistic because everybody's an individual. You will never find one person with all the qualities that
checks
you
all
want.
the boxes,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah.
There's bound to be some things that you have to compromise and all that. So I always feel especially when it comes to relationships, and even in a friend relationship as well, just a regular normal relationship, colleague relationship. If you drop all your ideals, right, and willing to be a bit more open, right, you'll find different characteristics that you never thought about when you were forming those ideals, and you actually might like that characteristic even better than the ideal that you had in the first place.
That's true. In any working relationship, if you come in thinking it's going to be 50-50,
Yeah.
you're going to end up disappointed
Exactly,
and
yeah.
annoyed.
I hate to use the cliche, think out of the box, but if you remove that box, then aren't you more open to more things and accepting to more people, and it just opens up your horizons.
Responsibilities, living together, cohabiting is one thing, right? But there's a more sensitive area, obviously, in a relationship when it comes to finances.
Yep.
Finance is always a very sour point in any relationship. I'll give you an example, right?
Sure.
So recently, a bunch of my friends came in from out of town. So me and my boyfriend brought them out, go and drink and have fun and stuff like that. And because they are my friends, of course, I'm going to pay for them. But he had intercepted and he got the bill. Obviously, at this point, alcohol induced, I asked him, why do you get the bill? I wanted to get it because they're my friends. I want to get the tab. And he said to me, look, I obviously make more money than you. I have more disposable income. I want to do something nice for you. Why is that bad? Finance is a very sensitive thing. I was very hurt by that statement. I said, just because you make more money than me doesn't mean that I can't get this tab.
Sure.
But I do understand where he's coming from.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's still a sour point. It's
Right.
annoying to have to deal with things like that.
Yeah, but you see, once you start letting these things like finances become a problem, then they're a problem. If you just go oh, you pay for it, okay, never mind, I'll get the next one. And just leave it be. If you don't try to read into so many things and try to take things less seriously. It would have been a very fun occasion, and hey, you didn't have to pay for your friend's meal. That's awesome. Your boyfriend free, tomorrow.
And would you have considered paying for his friends the next time they come into town?
Yeah, I mean, I just didn't want him to think that I wanted him to
Yeah,
pay,
your
right?
expectations are- yeah.
Exactly. But finance, for a lot of married couples, they have like a shared bank account. They do 50-50. Every month they put in the same. Is that realistic? How can you put in the same amount of money?
Yeah, I think it's a little unrealistic. I mean, having a joint bank account is good, especially because of where we live, and a lot of things require money spent and things like that. You have to pay for a lot of things. But again, to put pressure on yourself to say, oh, you have to put in this amount because she's going to put in this amount. Then when you fall short or your spouse falls short, then there's a point of contention there. So why don't you just try to be as happy as you can and do what you can? And I'm sure because it's the person you married, they're not going to like, oh, you showed me $5 this month. That's it. No TV for you. I mean, that's not going to happen because of a shortfall. And obviously, there will be a reason for it. I mean, of course, if the shortfall came from, I went to Genting and I spent all my money on roller coaster rides, because that's all you do in Genting. You don't do anything else. Then that is a problem. Obviously,
It's a different problem already.
correct. Yeah, you've overspent somewhere, and that's why you don't have enough. So I feel that to make it work, you shouldn't put too many restrictions on yourself.
So do you guys mind sharing how do you handle your finances at home? Is
My
it like
money is her money, her money is her money.
Her money is her money.
wise words
Okay lah.
to
So
live
all the
by?
money is her money.
Happy wife, happy life.
No, but have you also heard about now people are bringing to light more often about how there is no 50-50, there's no 100-100. Sometimes I'm a 20 and you should be the 80 for me. Or today I have a little bit more energy. I had a better day.
Good
But-
days and bad days.
Correct. And so what I can bring to the table is maybe 70. And if all you can bring is 30, that's fine.
But not every day is as realistic as that. Sometimes your days just
You
suck
can't
for
form
both of
100
you.
together.
Yeah, even if you put yourselves together, you can't reach 100. Maybe you're a 30 today and I'm a 20, and together we're just 50.
I think with finances, always going to be a sensitive point, right? But I did see sort of like a way to contribute evenly, right? And that involves some math. So you take each of your incomes, right? Divided by the total of both incomes, and you times 100, you get a percentage of how each of you should contribute. Yeah. And then you take your total shared monthly expenses, divided by this percentage. This is how much money in dollars that you should be contributing every month. If let's say you have a joint bank account. So it's variable. It's not 50-50, right?
Right.
But here's the thing.
What?
I would never be with anyone who wants to calculate that way.
Yeah, exactly. Like, is that
It sounds a bit
realistic?
calculated.
Yeah, to calculate this every month?
Yeah, well, some people do it, and maybe we're doing it wrong because Singaporeans are very rich, lah. They can buy property, they can buy car and all that, which baffles me sometimes. But yeah, I mean, that could be a way to do it. Some people are just comfortable doing that, but some people aren't, lah. There are a lot of ways of doing things, there are a lot of solutions to different sets of problems and all that. It's just what solution you adapt to and adopt, I suppose. Yeah.
Absolutely. There are some, married couples who have given some thoughts about 50-50 marriage, okay? Someone said, it actually doesn't work for me. What I like is the approach where I do the stuff I'm good at, and he does the stuff that he's good at and he enjoys. I'm quite happy to do all the cooking, but for example, I never put petrol in the car because that's something he likes doing, going to a petrol station, looking around the shop and things like that. And I feel like we both feel we do more than 50% because we do what we love.
Yeah, I like that. And obviously, all these things came about because a couple sat down and talked about what they're good at, which means the lines of communication were very open. And they sat down and talked about it. It wasn't no, you do this, and they wrote it down on a piece of paper. It literally is a consensus between two understanding individuals.
Correct. On that note, someone else says, on paper, it's easy to say 50-50 or to assign like traditional roles to each other, right? Like the husband goes to work and the wife stays at home. But this is not always the case in reality. Marriage and relationships fail when you confine them to strict rules. And I fully agree with that. Yeah, sometimes rules bend and you just have to go with the flow for the marriage to even work out.
Like the words of Bruce Lee, be like water. No, really, he said that, and it applies to everything. If you're not flexible enough to move with the times, with different challenges that people face in their lives, you can have this set rules, right? But something changes. Things happen like retrenchments, like natural disasters. How are you going to call what's going to happen 5 years down the road? You can't, you see. So if you can bend like water, then you can adapt and.
You sound like you've reached enlightenment.
Oh, I have, yeah.
Congratulations.
Exactly. When you're old, at a certain age, all of a sudden it hits you.
Oh, it comes with age,
It
huh?
comes with age.
Okay, I'm looking forward to that. The 50-50 approach, like we said, is very unrealistic. Mostly because how do you even determine that your partner has met you halfway? How do
Right.
you sit and calculate different
How do you
things?
quantify
What is
it?
that 50 to you?
Yeah,
right?
like how do you can't use a calculator. There's no life calculator for that. So it's not possible to determine that. And acceptance of this 50-50 is based on performance. Like let's say you clean the house, right? That's your 50, but you do a shit job.
Yeah,
Then
exactly.
is that still meeting your partner
So,
halfway?
yeah, I vacuum, but it's still messy.
Yeah.
Too bad I did vacuum. Yeah.
Wow, that sucks Oh my god.
No, but it's true. But sometimes, like, let's say if I cook, right? I don't cook. But if I did put my heart and soul into cooking, I would expect that you put your heart and soul
Into eating.
Tasting them.
like washing the dishes, making sure they're clean.
Oh, right.
right?
That
But
too. That.
most times you would be disappointed. I guess I learned this, from living with my partner, right? I usually keep things very clean around the place, but guys being guys, they like to throw everything, one underwear here, one t-shirt there. And I got upset because I expected him to do the same that I did, which was keep the space
Right.
clean. But when you have the expectation, you're disappointed.
Exactly. See,
Yeah.
again, expectations will ruin everything.
So what I do is I clean up.
Yeah.
But does it take a toll on you though?
No, it's okay
the long
because he
run.
doesn't mind the messy stuff, but I want it clean, and I'll do that for him, and he does other things for me.
I think it's also about picking your battles. Like, is it really worth fighting or arguing over something as small as leaving your clothes on the floor or not keeping things? I mean, there's a bigger picture. I mean, definitely we have our disagreements from time to time, but we do think about, like, what's the bigger picture? Like, is this going to affect anything in the future? Is this, like, cup that's not been washed for, like, days, is it going to affect anything? No, then just leave it. It's okay. I'll just wash it. Or just remind him, hey, can you please go and wash?
I'll throw away the cup. Buy a new one.
Singaporeans very rich.
Yeah.
That's him right there.
Remind me to go through your trash bin. Sounds like there's a lot of valuable stuff in there. A lot. What was your last argument?
Wow.
I mean, we bicker lah.
Yeah, we don't have major
Yeah.
meltdown arguments. Yeah, we bicker about small things.
This is very healthy actually.
Yeah, because once you get it out of the way, then it's done already, ma. Yeah, as long as you understand both points of view, you don't have to agree at the end of an argument, right? I can still think that I'm right, and she can still think that she's right. But as long as we see each other's point and we feel it's not unreasonable, then yeah, okay, let's move on. Like I will try to do whatever it takes to make you happier, and vice versa as well. She'll do the same for me. So
Yeah, give
Yeah.
and take, yeah.
For example, like what? What kind of like small things?
Like the cup?
That was just a very
Random
Yeah, very
example.
random. It's not a true story, by the way. What do we bicker about? I don't know, man. It's just like in the moment things
Yeah.
like you just don't remember.
Actually, this comes with fighting too, right? As couples, you definitely do disagree on things. If one person is always taking it, like the other person is always right, and one person is always in the wrong, walking away from an argument,
Right.
I don't think that's fair. In this
It's not very healthy,
situation,
lah,
I
yeah.
think 50-50 would be a better approach.
Right.
Or
sure,
Yeah.
but again, you're trying to put numbers to an equation where it really isn't an equation. It's a natural thing where, like I said, life happens and different scenarios happen. How do you put numbers to it? Not that I hate numbers, although I hate math, but
Can tell, yeah.
Yeah. But like I said, drawing lines and circles and adding boundaries to your everyday life kind of sucks. I mean, we all hated rules in school. We all have some disagreements with rules that the government gives you. So we all don't like it. But so when you start doing that in your household, imagine living your whole life with all these set of rules that you don't agree with.
It's very
And
transactional.
It makes you a very angry person as well, I feel. Yeah. Removing certain rules that really don't make a difference to your life kind of makes things better. And you want to be at home, you want to be with your kids, you want to be your wife. And
It sounds like marriage is hard work.
Yeah, it really is. And I can already think of so many of my friends out there who, like, the wife wants the place to be like neat and tidy, right? And she doesn't want to put any pressure on the husband. But if she doesn't, the husband really does not do anything. And then all the work will fall on her shoulders. And then that's going to be like so tough.
understandable.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, it's things that people in a relationship should try to work out and not get angry with quantifying what kind of work each other does.
Right.
Like I said, if your friend really hates a messy house, then she has to
clean up.
make it not messy. lah. Yeah.
Or maybe hire a cleaner.
Outsource.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Always outsource.
Yes.
It's a very good
Outsource everything.
alternative.
When you do have bad days and when you both have bad days and you don't have enough to bring to the table, what happens then? Because while you're having a bad day, sometimes you expect your partner to make it better for you, but they're having a bad day too.
Maybe not just you two, your kids as well.
Yeah, sure,
both
yeah,
of them.
yeah,
Oh
exactly.
my God.
So you're talking about 4 very different individuals, all with their own mindset and everything. So it's almost a perfect ingredients for chaos. But like Jayne said, like you gotta pick your battles. I mean, even if you're having a bad day, I've said this from the beginning of my career till now, right? And I practice this on a daily basis. If I'm having a bad day, I'm never go on air and turning on the mic and saying, I'm having a terrible day. I'm not going to take phone calls. I'm not going to talk to you. I put it aside and do a good show because that's my job to entertain people. And it should be the same in your house as well. Like I'm having a bad day. I'm not going to take it out on her. She's not the reason why I'm having a bad day. Unless she is, then I'll go out. But usually it's not. People like to blame something that happened to them on the way they behave, but you don't have to behave like that. Unless you're dealing with the problem head on, then yeah, sure, you blow up, you get angry and all that with the problem, not the people around you.
Yeah, I think because we compartmentalize our feelings, I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, but we do that. Like, if I have a bad day, I don't bring it home. I just leave it. And because I know he's not the cause of my bad day, my kids are not the cause of it. So why should they suffer the consequences for it? So I just try to put it aside and just move forward with my day because there's nothing I can do about it anymore. Just move on. But of course, I will rant to him and complain I had a very bad day, this happened, that happened. But he will just listen and, after that, just move on because there's no point in harping and just throwing everything on him. It just makes him feel bad at the end of the day.
That's true. Your partner is not your emotional punching bag at the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
So
Sometimes renting is quite nice.
It's
huh?
good, yeah.
anything anyone wants to rant about, please. The mic is hot.
www.rent.com.
Okay, I feel like we have heard so much from Vernon and Jayne.
Yeah.
But girls, what about you? We have been in a few relationships. What are some of the good habits that we think we will bring to our marriage next time?
From your vast relationship experience.
I'm sorry?
Any good habits?
Or
One or two.
things not to do.
I think I'm a very happy person.
You are, darling. You are.
And I think that in itself, I save you a little headache, of which nothing is really too big an issue.
Nothing is insurmountable.
Yes.
Okay.
I think I've seen this somewhere, read this somewhere, of which they said the first thing that you need to have your partner is empathy. And I think when you don't have that, of which you can't at least feel for what they're feeling or what they're going through, because in the case of the messy house, right? She doesn't like the house messy. She clean it up because she's the one who can't stand it. But if the partner knew that she gets upset by a messy house as much as I don't care if it's messy, you would do a little bit. You know what I mean?
Mess up the house. That's true. Yeah, it's a two-way street. It cannot be just on one person. How
Well,
about you?
For me, at this point in my life, I think being happy is the most important. If certain lifestyle habits don't align, I would say don't push it. Before you step into marriage, recognize that and see if you want to take a step back. And
Or if
just-
you can accept it and just,
Yeah.
Don't do it because your friends are doing it, because your BTO is coming, those are just bad reasons to commit to a relationship. And I taught you this lesson the first time I met you. And obviously you don't remember it.
Tell us. I
I think the most important lesson that anyone can learn, and I think not enough people do it, is to listen. Be open to listening. Don't be in your own world and not pay attention to what's going on around you, especially from your partner. Because the minute you start listening to your partner, right, then you will know what is bothering her, what she likes, what the conversation that interests her is about. All you need to do is just listen. You don't even have to participate. You don't even have to have mind-blowing comments about anything. As long as you're listening and you're understanding what your partner is trying to say, then half the battle is won, and you can move on from there and do things in your life that you feel will be meaningful to yourself and for your partner as well.
Clearly, I wasn't listening. When
Exactly, yeah. Sorry. See?
No recollection of
Are
this.
you listening now?
Yes.
That's right. What, you think you're still not married?
Ask me again in 5 years. Okay, this statement, right? This is quite a big statement. It pertains to marriage, but maybe not so much of the 50-50. But it's a big debate. Is love enough for marriage?
Oh my gosh.
That
I
you
have
love
an
each
answer.
other.
Well, I think there are too many external forces of nature that surround two people in a relationship. What if we were in love with each other, but her parents violently objected to us getting married? That would have been a problem. And if we decided to ourselves, let's elope now because we love each other and let's just forget about our parents. It's going to come back one day and bite you in the ass because, obviously her parents being her parents, she's going to miss her parents. What? Love is part of the major ingredient for a successful marriage or a successful relationship, but I don't think it's the only thing you can, look at before you get into a relationship or you get married.
I have to say I agree though, love alone cannot sustain a marriage or a relationship.
Sure.
Reality, habits, finances, phase of life, everything else comes into play.
Yeah.
And you just got to recognize, as much as being in love is a happy feeling, but these other factors also will come in and, like you said, bite you in the ass.
Yeah.
So clearly serious thought has to be given.
No, imagine we love each other, but she's terrible and very mean to my mom.
Oh,
And then,
Jayne!
No, she's not. I'm just hypothesizing, right? Because you're in love, I tell myself, no, I love her too much. I'm going to get in a relationship. Again, it's going to come back and, eventually one day you will fall out of love because of problems like that. So
Love can only bring you this far.
Yeah,
exactly.
Like 20, 30 years of marriage, there's still love there, but is it gonna be enough?
I love
to-
money, but it doesn't fall from the sky for me.
You marry money?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I will wrap her in money.
Oh, nice. Maintaining this sense of fairness in marriage, it may not even be, you want it to be fair. Like Vernon and Jayne have said, throw that whole rule book out. Don't think about it as 50-50. Don't think about it as you both have to contribute some sort of, equal amount, right? So what would you say to people that, are struggling with that in a relationship or in a marriage even?
Maybe one person is constantly contributing way more than the other.
They're just stuck in that mindset, right? Yeah.
But they still want this marriage. They still want this family.
Yeah, I think you just have to let go of the expectations, the ideals that you have, that you hold, and expect that your partner is going to do this, contribute that. I feel it's just really unhealthy for yourself and for your partner because after that, you're just going to start manifesting it in your actions and it'll just show up in everything that you do. Like you start throwing temper and you'll be so angry as a person and you will be so unpleasant to be around, right? And your partner will definitely see that. And then, it just has so many consequences just because of something you cannot let go, such as your expectations. It's very easy for us to say, just let go, right? But to do it is another thing. So it takes a lot of mental training, a lot of thinking, and a lot of time to change your perspective in order to let go of your expectations, I feel.
Manifest is the buzzword for 2023. Manifest. But yeah, no, I mean, you really got to find out what the root of your problem is. What is that thing that you dislike about your relationship? And then ask yourself whether is that something I'm willing to, overcome, forget about, get over, or I will not compromise on my principles and I have to be steadfast and protect this thing that I really want. And if your partner disagrees, then you really have to think about your relationship. I mean, there's no two ways about it because if you're going to be stubborn, then stubbornness is a brick wall. You're just going to keep running against a brick wall. And if you cannot do that for the rest of your life, you're going to get injured.
Actually, in fact, I do think if you take a bigger picture at it, right, your mindset about this whole marriage 50-50, 100-100, whatever it is, this could also be a misalignment.
Sure.
This could cause you to break up. It's the same as I want kids, I don't want kids. It's a very big thing because it applies to all parts of your relationship.
No, and I was going to also add on that mindsets like principles and ideals and that will change. It's one thing one day and 5-10 years down the road, it can be something else. And this is where love comes in because if the love is very strong and you really love this person, then your ideals can change. It's not set in stone. It's really what you're willing or unwilling to do that really determines whether you're in a good relationship or a good marriage.
Wow, thank you, Confucius.
Oh, see, I'm sitting like
Confucius.
Yeah, so before we wrap up this episode, right, I just want to share some quotes by some people out there that I feel can help marriages. This person called Gary Chapman once said that marriages are in a perpetual state of transition, continually moving from one season to another, perhaps not annually as in nature, but certainly and consistently. And the cycle repeats itself many times throughout the life of a marriage. So just be prepared that you have to go through the same thing again and again. Then it's up to your mindset and how you want to handle this situation, right?
That's your dedication to spending a life together, right? And marriage may not always be 50-50, but divorce is 50-50. So think about that.
No, it's not actually. It's not. Yeah. Depending on the circumstance.
You guys know.
So with that, thank you so much, Vernon and Jayne, for joining us on this episode of Clarity's Hush Podcast.
Thank you for having us.
Oh, very couple.
It's not every day that I sit next to beautiful women, like so many somehow.
Yeah. And it's not every day I hear Vernon speak like that. So serious, you know.
Oh, no, I'm always serious.
He's a serious guy.
Yeah.
He's not funny at all.
Yeah, no.
Well, thank you so much for tuning in. And if you want to check out their beautiful faces, come on to YouTube.
Yeah, follow us on Instagram at itsclarity.co for latest updates.
That's right. You can listen to us on Me Listen, Apple Podcasts, as well as Spotify, and turn on your notifications.
Okay, thanks guys. See you next
Thank you
time.
so much.
Bye. Even if you put yourselves together, you can't reach 100. Maybe you're a 30 today and I'm a 20. And together we're
Then
just
you
50.
go McDonald's and eat, and you go KFC and eat lah, so you don't meet each other.